is Imperator Rome, another Paradox Grand Strategic game. Gosh, that's a bit loud. Probably turn the volume down a bit. This is the map. Gosh, my potato PC really doesn't like it. Don't think I've turned the graphics down yet. Definitely need to do that. When I first played the game, is that my potato PC hates this game. But also, each nation has a score modifier. So, if you play a big nation like Carthage, you get less score, and even less as if you play this one. Rome, ironically, isn't considered that big at the beginning of the game. It goes between, I think, 500 and 50, where 50 is the smallest nation and 500 is the biggest, and it's a score modifier, so the smaller nation gets more score. However, there's only one nation that gets a full score, and that's what we'll be aiming to do today. Only 2 pop, because the size of a nation is based on its population. And so my goal will be getting max score. Load in minimal graphics to try and prevent my PC hating this game too much. Now there's a big issue with this nation, and that it is essentially the worst nation in the game to play. Luckily, we can gain allies and declare a war before the AI decides what land it wants to conquer, thus hating each other, you and everything around it. So what we do, we'll be aiming to conquer this piece of land. There will be an attempt to change to a Jewish religion, because the Hellenic religion is, in the kindest possible way, terrible. Because that was basically my only goal while playing this game. I am actually pretty bad at the game itself. So we'll just go with Roll of Armies. Let's see, National Tribesman Happiness. To be honest, don't care too much about that. Although, I think I will be going the decentralization route. Usually I'd probably go with something like this, but in fact I don't want to spend too much political influence, because my goal will be to change religion, and I think it does take quite a few resources, stability and whatnot. So, let's see if I remember how to play this game. Make friends. Nope, I want diplomacy. Now, the alliance train I want, I believe, will be this one, this one, this one, and these two do not appear. Let's see what's wrong. Too many relations, but we could get them friendly. Let's see, make friends. Oh, that's not. I forgot that's not an instant action. Never mind. And that's actually even worse chances. Is there a way to increase relations? Nope. Right, when can we declare war? It's going to be another thing we need to work out. 1st of November. Question is, do we have a claim on it? Diplomacy tab. No. Now I believe there's a mission, possibly. Now, should check if there are better ones to grab. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. What do you want? More of navies? Nope. War exhaustion, maybe. Cultural happiness. Probably will go for integrated cultural happiness if I want to change religions. So, gonna be honest, changing religion is a terrible idea if you don't know how to do it. I don't think anyone knows how to do it properly, so we'll see what we can do. Now, the way I get a claim, I believe, is for the government tab, and we will want to summon a war council. There we go. Slowly remembering. It is random though, I believe, which is unfortunate. Let's see. To be honest, I have no idea what. Yeah, that's the wrong province. Never mind. I believe this is allied, and is a possible war target as they tend to be allied. However, we want to call in all our allies, and they do not come into this war, I do not believe, so this might be a restart. Yes. Perhaps I did it wrong. Perhaps there's a better way of doing it. No idea. Let's see. Yeah, I don't care about befriending that person anymore. Want to get to November. See if right allies will be called in. No idea. Problem is, we want to declare as soon as possible because this nation will decide it wants territory from here. This country will decide it will want territory from this one, and vice versa. And then we lose our alliance chain. And winning the first war is very important because that would be the only war we could win. So fortunately we do not get that nation in, and I believe it is important to get that nation in. See, declaring war without... No. Could give it a try, but I don't think it's a good... Gonna be a good go at it. Especially if this is the war goal. Territory the AI occupies up here, especially by this nation, they will want to keep it and not give it to me. Let's see why they don't want to join in. Conflicting interests. Probably one of the allies they want to declare on, or disliked now. Not that one. It only gets worse as time goes by, and this is the only opportunity to really do it. So, a bit of a restart. See, we'll try calling a war council first. Actually gives us a choice this time, I believe. I believe this is the one we want. Excellent. See if we can make the alliance chain again. See, they will ally with us. They will still ally with us. Excellent. We want as many allies as possible, even though I believe this one is probably a mistake. We will go to 1st of November. Again, not spending political influence and stability, as I believe we want it to change religion, if I can manage that. Religion, culture. To be honest, I thought there was more of options. As you can see, these are war proposals again from our allies to attack another ally, which is not good. Because we want them all to attack in a joint war. And again, there we go. They're all planning to attack allies, making them unwilling to attack our target. Yep. Very annoying. I believe restarts like this will happen for a number of times, but playing such a terrible start, pretty unavoidable. War, bit of RNG, few restarts, but I'm going to confirm war and probably set down a save because I'm terrible at most of this game, and having a save to avoid the RNG is going to be helpful if I need to restart. Alright, let's see if I can actually remember how the combat works. The issue is I'm terrible at combat in this game. Amounts to just pretty much chucking troops at each other. High quality troops, better outcomes. No, we haven't spent any money because we need to look to see what sort of mercenaries are lurking about and hiring them. The issue is they tend to cost 100 gold to hire. Thus we need a monthly cost of not much. Otherwise we won't even get a month out of them, and they need to reorganize, I believe. Now where are these? They're actually on the map for mercenary companies, so we have to hire them and then move them to a war. These seem to be within budget. If they're any more expensive, I probably wouldn't have hired them, as they're going to be they start off with no morale, so we have to morale up. That's every month, and we get paid every month. Looks like we're going to get about 20 months worth of them before we run out of money. The biggest problem with this war is linking up with all the Allies' troops, as we're going to need them all to win. And because of the snake-like nature of the Allies, and then this one takes time gathering the troops, because it doesn't have a base default number of troops of 4. That's partly why we can do this war, because the base quantity of troops, most nations also stuck on that amount. What is this? Hopefully this is not a negative. Looks like we could get gold, or we lose gold, or they get it. I'm not too sure about events in this game. The characters are not actually that fun to play with, partly because the wacky things that people did in history at this time don't tend to happen. Single people with purely their reputation have changed the course of history in this region at this period of time. So and this game doesn't really show that. Okay, I'm probably gonna try and do this war. And hopefully not restart too many times, as I did put down a save. Okay, this is a save I took for the start of the war. Because of the orange at the beginning, it's difficult to line up the allies I need. Gosh, my potato PC does struggle a bit when first loading up the game. Let's see, military. To actually complete all the points I want to hit, I did play the save a few times to see the best path to take. So what I want to do is increase political influence, so we go to our leader of the nation. Gosh, that is a bit of a struggle. And we say influence, please, more influence. And that's it for now. There will be a restart if our leader gets married through an event, because the goal is to change religion. Now that is not an easy task, because you need a bunch of conditions. One of the conditions we'll be meeting is having more of a target religion, in this case Jewish, in our capital province, such as these two places, than our population in this place. So more than 50% here need to be Jewish. That's really hard, except for this place at the beginning of the game, because we've only got 2 pop. So that's pretty easy. And then the other hard condition is a character in our character list, not that one, We need one of these characters needs to be Jewish. The easiest way to do that is to marry a ruler off to someone who's Jewish. Move our troops into a neighbouring ally. One thing we can't allow happen is for a siege to succeed here in our capital, because with only one pop we will just lose the territory. This is the infantry, the slowest unit, so we will allow our cavalry to attach. And hopefully AI will also attach to this. Let's see, this is our best general, though he tends to become a bit disloyal. Kind of annoying, but manageable. So just run through this war. Hopefully we will be able to full siege. But that is not always possible. If somebody else sieges this province other than us, because we have no claim on it, they will maintain the occupation instead of giving it to us, thus preventing us from taking it. So that's kind of standard in Paradox grand strategy games. The big problem in this war, though, is our morale is a lot lower than the enemy. So it will probably take multiple battles of losing and then returning to win, but it looks like we have numbers on our side currently, so it's a good opportunity to push in. The numbers will become favourable once this nation actually manages to move its troops into the battle and fight. Might not be needed, but I'm terrible at combat. Let's see. Looks like our numbers are running out. As I said, rolling the RNG enough times to align all the allies we need to win the war easily is difficult, but once done, it shouldn't be too hard. Well, let's see how this war turns out. The sieges are done. I managed to get this siege and assault the castle, and our ally came up and sieged the capital of this province. And because I had the claim on it, they gave it to me. So the next thing is the peace. Now they should accept all of it. Excellent. To be honest, I don't know which option is best. Now, what we want to do, go to culture, and we want to allow marriage. Hopefully, the event will trigger that our ruler will look through for a wife and choose Jewish wife, and oddly enough, one of the options is to marry every unmarried person to a Jewish wife, which will solve the Jewish character in our court problem. Because, well, trying to get some from other nations. Actually, I'm not sure how to do that. This sidesteps that quite nicely. So, we've got 2 here and 2 here. Trying to move them around can be a bit difficult, but hopefully we'll manage. We won't need to worry about that until our political influence hits 200. And then that will be the trigger. So we'll probably look for other options for expansion, because we'll need to expand as fast as possible. So just need to wait for political influence to accumulate. Hopefully events will boost that instead of reducing it. Well, it's the luck of a draw.